Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Airport CEO here on the channel. As always, before we get too far into today's episode, if you should end up enjoying this video, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? Alright, so last time we worked quite a bit on the land side of the airport and also started working on the interior, but we actually didn't quite finish the land side. And I guess it goes by the saying, an airport is never finished. And so we are also not finished here on the land side, because one part that we haven't really touched upon yet is actually outside the terminal building. There is another building which in real life houses a train station. And around that you also have a lot of bus stops where city buses and I guess also buses that come from other places in Switzerland or France are dropping off passengers. So we want to build that here as well. But as we in the game can't really build train stations as such or any form of a train network, we again have to fall back to what the game actually allows us to build, and that is a metro station, which we will place at the far end of this longer building here. And then at a later stage we will have to figure out to add some nice things inside this building, so the interior at least looks somewhat presentable. Alright, so for the next part I would like to go inside the terminal building again and work a little bit on the luggage system. Now, in the last episode I mentioned that in real life in Geneva the baggage retrieval areas are basically on ground floor level, but we don't have space for that here, so we will have to place that on level -1. And that of course means that when passengers arrive they will all basically meet up at this central room, but from there of course they then need to be able to go up to ground floor level, because that is where our arrival hall is, so where they can leave the security area, or at least that's the plan, because obviously we still need to build that. And so from the central room, which will be the baggage reclaim area, we are placing two escalators, which will then go up to ground floor level. And as I said, this is then where they will be leaving the security zone. And then we will add, we will add some doors. Obviously, passengers from the outside could basically pass through those doors, but I don't think they will do that much because there's nothing really to go towards, and then so the inbound passengers, the arriving passengers, will leave the airport through here. So there's obviously still much more to be done in this area, but for now I would like to go to the next part. And that will be to start placing down parts of the luggage system, mainly the luggage system for all the outbound traffic. We will still need to do some work later also for the inbound, but I think it's a good way to start off your luggage system is simply by making sure that you have everything in place that you need for luggage that is going out of the airport, so leaving the airport. Obviously we're connecting up all the check-in desks that we have at the main departure hall, and that we then need to bring downstairs. And then of course we need to find a place where we can have baggage bays from where the luggage is distributed to the various gates. We obviously need a few of those to serve all the different gates we will have, and we will have luggage bays basically on each side of the terminal building, so that we have enough to serve all the different gates. And also because for example, and basically by splitting up the position of the baggage bays over multiple areas, we should also reduce the time it takes to get the luggage from the check-in desk to the aircraft, because basically if we had, for example, all the luggage that needs to go to the wide body stands go through these baggage bays we have here on the basically wrong side of the airport, it would take longer to drive the luggage towards the aircraft. So that is basically why we won't be serving all stands from one central place, but we will be splitting up the luggage line so that it goes to various baggage bays across the airfield. An essential part of the luggage system is obviously making sure that the luggage that reaches an aircraft is actually safe. So all the luggage that is being checked in needs to go through various scanners, and in the game it is very important that these scanners are set up in the proper way so that it actually works and so that your ratings aren't completely screwed over if you destroy too much luggage that shouldn't have been destroyed. So the first thing you need to do is basically placing down the tier 1 scanner. This is the first firewall, if you would like. Everything that is scanned there goes either through and then onto your aircraft, or it will be taken out so that it can go through further examination. And that then happens at the tier 2 scanners. There you have various kinds of scanners. And again, luggage goes through these scanners, and if it passes, then everything is fine, and it will go basically from one tier 2 scanner to the next, to the next, to the next. And after having passed all of them, if it's then fine, it goes towards your aircraft. If it isn't fine, it will be again put to another line where it goes to the tier 3 scanner, which is a manned scanner, and that is basically the last line of defense. If a luggage piece has gone all the way there, then it needs to be checked to see if it is actually properly dangerous or not, and if it is, that is then determined by the security guard, then it needs to be destroyed. And if it is there determined that it isn't dangerous, then again it will be going back to the central line from where it will be going towards the baggage base. Alright, so I think we have a little bit more time, so we can start working on one more task here before it is time to end today's video. And what I would like to start working on here is actually on a level 2, where we in real life, as we also have here in the rebuild of Geneva Airport, is the security checks. I have mentioned it a little bit beforehand, so the security checks are on level 2, and in real life passengers would basically stay there because I guess technically the airport is kind of built on a slope, but of course in the game here we have to bring passengers back to level 1 after they have passed through security, because our gates are on level 1, because jet bridges always are placed on level 1 in the game. But it's not a huge issue, it's just, we have to work our way around these things and have to work with how the game logic is based, and sometimes, that means that we have to build things slightly different than they are in real life, while trying to still stay as close as we can to the real airport. But of course, not always everything goes smoothly. This is, even though I do have somewhat of a plan of how I want to build the airport, still also somewhat trial and error. And sometimes, you discover that what you built might not entirely work. And so while I was zoning in these areas here, the connection tunnels towards the satellite terminals, I noticed that I had made a little mistake. People in Berlin obviously can testify to that mistakes while building airports do happen fairly regularly, at least some places more than others. And I made a little mistake, which means we need to fix that. Basically, we have the central room where all passengers, arriving passengers will meet up, where we have the baggage reclaim area. So that means, for example, also the passengers here from the satellite terminals will meet up in this area. The only issue is that they actually can't at the moment. And that is, of course, because while I was placing down my luggage lines towards the baggage base, they needed to pass this area, but by doing so, I basically walled off any possibility of accessing the central room, which later will become the baggage reclaim area. But it is obviously a simple fix. We just need to take a part of the luggage line here and just move it down one further level. So yeah, but just to say, mistakes happen, and we obviously just fix them as we discover them. while we're building the terminal. But with this little issue now solved, it is time to end today's video. If you have enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I would like to say thank you very much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.